What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you live right now. It is 4:43 Best Coast time. There have been some odd changes on tonight's UFC card. There were some fights, they went away, somebody fell on the fucking scale. It's been a very strange set of circumstances, and yet still, here we are. My name, of course, Rafa Esparza. I host many shows, the two of which that are probably most notable to you, Verbal Tap and the Grappling Hour. It is a pleasure to have you joining us here today. We're going to be watching some UFC Vegas 22. Very excited for that. We're going to hear from our good friend Dan Hubler in a little bit, but let's take care of some housekeeping. First and foremost, see this right over here? This is the homie. This is our good pal, Gabe. If you know anything about me, I am probably most in shape because of GCal Fitness out here in Los Angeles. Give him a call if you are looking for any kind of way to get back into shape. And here's the thing. Gabe does a lot of good prevention work, because if I ate what I normally eat and didn't work out with Gabe, I would be more obese. So, just saying. Anyway, them's the rules. I'm seeing some notes here. Joffrey, hello. G-Baby, gang gang. Don't know what that means. I don't know if that means yang gang. I thought we retired that one a while ago, but either way, very pleased to see all of you guys here this evening. Is there a particular fight that you were very excited about here tonight? I know that I'm excited to see Holland go out, do his thing this evening, because there was a little bit of grab ass that was happening. And I mean, if that doesn't make for a good fight scenario, I don't know what will. That is what we've got going on. I hope that you guys are excited for the fights tonight. If not, no big deal. We got a lot of shit to talk about this evening. We have the Snyder cut that we can talk about. We can talk a little bit about Khabib's retirement. We can also talk about what the division is going to do without him. There's, of course, even a Mortal Kombat trailer that's happening right now. There's lots of stuff that we're talking about this evening. All you have to do, give it to us in the comment section. We will bring it up. Also, those finishes that happen in the UFC gets a toast for the fighter who did it. So if the fighter gets a finish within regulation, we give him a nice little cheers, a little toast, like you would at, like, say, maybe a wedding or just at a local bar, if you go to those still. We'll work on that one next. But we do toast all the fighters who get finishes within regulation, as well as also giving some love to our friends in the different communities as well, who give us a like and a share over on Facebook. So if you like what we're doing and you want to support us, all you have to do, give us a like and a share on Facebook. If you give us a subscription on YouTube, or if you tag that you're watching this and tag us on your Instagram, we will give you a toast just like that. We got JP Buys and Bruno Silva coming in right now. Both of these gents fighting from different places other than here in the United States. And look, Bruce Buffer back in the flesh. And I will get a note here from our good friend Dan. Dan says that he will join us after this fight because he is busy live betting it, and I'm not going to get in his way. He needs to live his dream. I'm seeing here a note from G-Bay that said it was the Gillespie versus Rydell fight. I mean, yeah, these things suck. But look, you got a JP Buys in front of you. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, let's try and take some of the positives out of this, which is, we're here on a fight night. Could be worse, you know? Could be not here on a fight night. I don't know how that works. I'm very sorry for your loss. In any event, Bruno Silva in the yellow trunks, punching his fists and looking to see if he can unlock them. It always, like, the things that people do before they go into actually fighting always amuse me, because I love this punching of the gloves to make sure, like, the gloves still work. And then he's doing a very cartoon-esque punch to the sky. So we'll see what happens right now. We get a referee introduction, and, here's where we're going, kids. It looks like the fight's about to start, and JP Buys looking very, very interesting on what it is he is going to do. Just to give you a little bit of an indication, though, I know that Dan usually comes in to chat with us, and he usually tells us what things to bet on and what things not to bet on. But just to give you an idea of what Dan was gonna suggest for y'all, which was that he was telling you, get out of the way, G-Baby, I don't got time for you. He was telling you to actually go for JP Buys on this fight, and we're already at the first low blow of the fight, and that didn't take more than about 20 seconds. I know the qualifications for why Dan was saying that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you a little bit of a highlight as to what Dan was going to say about his buys on buy. Ugh, that's not great. He was saying that if you take JP here, he's being set up with a winnable fight for his UFC debut. He's also noting that the UFC's marketing team is really pushing the young married couple here and matching up JP Buys with Silva, who is officially 0-3 in the UFC. His submission loss to Taha was turned into a no contest. It clearly shows that the UFC is giving him a landing spot in his debut. So one of the things that Dan was saying that he really likes about Buys is his defense, but already looking right now, look at feistiness in one Silva. So I guess you could kind of see some rationale as to why Dan would want to go ahead and be on his computer at the ready to potentially change bets or hedge them should they come in. Are we talking about eye poke here too? Come on. Well, we're at an official beginning to disqualification bingo. Oh, we just went through this. You know what it is? Each week, everything they fucked up the week before, they do again this week. Like, what the fuck is happening? Ugh. It says, I gotta get this off there. It's too busy if I have both of them. Hello, Andrew. It says, at the park with the family, I will be in the chat in about an hour. Gang, gang. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And it says, here from Joseph Goodman, dick kick and an eye poke in the first minute of the night. I mean, don't say that they're not giving you your money's worth. Ooh, but Silva, with a beautiful right hand, connects. Buys, just eats it. Speaking of which, if we're talking about how the action resumes in front of us right now, we can also talk about what Dan was pointing out here. A nice right hand over here by Buys, who comes in with a jumping kick and for his efforts gets punched down from the sky. That was really odd to see. I don't want to say never, but it's very unusual to see a human being take flight only to take a big crash landing. This is a great butterfly hook, and he's gonna almost bully him over for a split second. Somehow, Gramby's himself into guard. Wish I could. But yes, Joseph, you are very perceptive. We are definitely looking at a post-dick kick world right now. Meanwhile, just to let you guys know what we are seeing in front of us, there is a guard that's been opened, and it looks like Buys maybe trying to look for a sweep again. I do like his butterfly guard options that he has been putting out here multiple times, only this time he doesn't really have a hook. I would assume he feels pretty good with an open guard, but Silva is very committed to the punch and just aggressively try to pass guard here. He may be able to do it, but he actually put himself right back into half. That's interesting. Joffrey, you're saying you like Song. Okay, I dig that. I can dig that. That's going to happen a little bit later over this evening. We're back at 2:32. And look at this. Just the way that Silva's mostly just kind of spreading out the body, just trying to put more weight over here. And Buys very aptly makes his way over to the cage, hopefully to utilize the cage to help him get back up. There is one hook here, but he gave it up, and this is going to give Silva a little bit of time to maybe try and drag him down, but Silva is not able to do that. Instead goes in with a left knee. Buys does not buy much time here as Silva kind of makeshift suplexes him down. Buys looks for a Kimura reversal grip. The arm is kind of spread out here, but not enough for a real tap. He does reverse the position, but he does have a underhook on one side. For a split second, it looked like Silva might have been able to reverse the position, but yet, yep, a reversal to a reversal right now, and Buys is essentially now pushing up Silva against the cage. One overhook, one underhook, And over on a split-second notice, you do see that Silva looks like he wants to try and work for a little bit of a suplex of his own. I think he's also trying to see what he looks like up at the television monitors to see if there's an angle he's not able to get at the current moment. 112 left in round number 1 of 3, of course. Our main event will be the only one to have 5 rounds this evening, which is kind of nice because, you know, we just came from an event where there were 3 championship bouts on one telecast, and it looks like that might be the thing that happens next month in April to try and get people to come back and visit the UFC in person. Meanwhile, back in the cage, same as it ever was. Nice stiff jab there by Silva. Comes in with a kick, starts to try to find his way. Does not get it, but he does have 2 underhooks. Again, pressing Buys up against the cage. This time peppering in with a couple knees to see if he can make something happen here. 22 seconds left to go in this first round, and now you're seeing Buys come out with a few slaps to the face. This is nothing but just trying to rack up some of the points on the carnival ride game where you're trying to win the finger trap at the amusement park. Goes in for a trip, does not get it, but instead tries to get his distance back with a kick, does not get it. Oh, we're throwing spinning back shit now, because at the end of the round, a punctuation mark in 1, Silva coming with a spinning back fist that connects and does seem to daze Buys. So that is a very fun first round. I hope that you are enjoying it. As a reminder, if you guys want to give us a like and a share, it means the world to us. Over on Facebook, you get a toast, just like we might do for those who get finishes within regulation. And as I'm already seeing here right now, at this moment, I do see a share from our good friend G-Baby, which means he is due a cheers in a few minutes. So we'll get to that in just a moment. But in the meantime, I want to tell you guys, if you want to get one of those toasts like G-Baby is about to get, all you have to do, like and share on Facebook, subscription on YouTube, and if you're on Instagram, it's pretty simple. Just go ahead and give us a share that you're watching us on your Instagram stories and tag us at Verbal Tapcast or Grappling Hour, and that's it. It's really, you know, it's not hard to game this system, honestly, but I'm just telling, I literally just put out the rules for y'all. Now it's on you. So, I also want to give a nice big congratulations. What is up, Carvalencia Rodriguez? Thank you so much for following us. We appreciate that over here on the show. Just to kind of fill you in, I want to give a big shout out to our friend, Eric Ghost Pepper Gonzalez, who came away with a big win at the Naciones MMA event that happened out in the Mexico yesterday. Big love, big appreciation. Cannot wait to talk to that guy. That is going to happen. And yes, Buys gets rocked again, but I can't tell if it's just off a slippage there. He does seem to kind of get caught when he takes flight. So I don't want to say it is a trend, but it's happened a couple times now. So maybe he wants to avoid doing that. I'll get to what I'm drinking here tonight in just a few moments. I will tell you it is quite delicious and I am enjoying it. In the meantime, we're seeing opportune moments. Silva continue to kind of get in these really non-significant strikes and peppering them in, and I kind of understand it. And in the meantime, Buys has a very actually active guard. I don't know how much of it is actually sticking, but yes, ground control time has been 2:22 for Silva, who might get another opportunity here to work for a suplex. Instead, lets Buys go and tries to come up with a kick. Does not really get much for doing so. Goes to a kick on the outside lead leg. Meanwhile, Buys starting to come down, gets in a nice quick hook over to the side, starts peppering, and now you're seeing Buys start to let go a little bit more. I do like that, but Silva doesn't really seem to be too fazed by it. Silva almost went to go pick up a snatch single, does not get it. Instead, both these gentlemen continue to press on, standing up in the feet, and you do see Silva missing on a straight right hand. Meanwhile, Buys is coming to drag him down. He has a good grip here that does neutralize one Silva, but I don't think we're seeing much there. But there is a nice little, what looked like a right hook by one Joseph Buys as well. All right, we're off to a good start here And Silva's trying to go ahead and do this by letting himself block most of these shots. And it says, so, oh God, that's not good. Every time I look down, yeah, I think Bies is about to get stopped right here on just a second. But the referee is very much letting him try to fight his way back in. He is on Dream Street. He has to be very, very careful about how he gets up. He is blocking all of these shots. He does start to fight back a little bit right now, and that will give him a little bit of leeway back into this. I do have a note here. I will get to it, Joseph Goodman, but the action just picked up, and oh, that is enough to stop it right there. Silva does get the win with one final shot that makes the referee stop this fight. It says, so when he loses this fight, would you tell your wife you lost? I don't think she's in the corner. Or do you have her focus on her fight? This is what you're talking about with the couple. This is one of the first times that a UFC couple is fighting on the same card. I'd imagine she was probably watching it. I don't think she's in the corner, but I can guarantee you in the back she probably has it on. And if you're at all married or have a spouse, you can sometimes read body language off each other. Like sometimes if my wife will ask if I did something and I have a look on my face, she'll just go, you didn't do what I asked you to do. And I go, no, I did forget. I did. I'm very sorry. I would like to lead with I'm very sorry. Actually, let's go back. In this particular case, I would say if it does follow that trajectory, Joseph, you do get Bies who goes backstage, looks at the wife, and then says, it went okay. And she probably looks at him and goes, yeah, I know. You lost the fight, huh? Did you watch? No. I can just read your face. So, yeah, Joseph. Good question, though. One of the rare times that sort of stuff will happen. So, honestly, just kind of glad my wife and I both don't fight. Would be problematic for this household. Could you imagine? My wife sees me a little bit later if she loses her fight and then comes up to me and goes, you know what? I was going to win this fight and I looked like things were going to go like my way and you lost yours and that put the bad juju on me. I don't know. I think that puts more pressure on the wife. She has to win now. They can't just do commercials like that say, this is monumental because we get a couple that's fighting on the same card. I don't know. You don't want to be that role. And poor Bies. Oh, that really sucks for him. I get it, dude. I get it. We're all warriors. We don't have to lick the gloves, though. There's just a lot of gross on that. In this day and age, I thought that one of the few things that Corona would teach us is maybe to have some practices that get a little bit better. I understand it. We're in a contact sports sort of world, but you don't have to lick the goddamn glove. A follow-up. You think that affects your confidence / betting odds? I'll answer your first question, then swing back around for the second. The first part of your question talks about, do you think that affects your confidence? Probably, but I would hope not. I think at this level, when you start fighting like this, you got to just get used to it. Though, from the people I have interviewed in the past, they have admitted sometimes stuff like this does get to them, but I've seen so many people go out of their way to both win, especially after they feel like they lost something. Please don't do backflips on the way to your interview. It's just really not nice. The poor man behind you that's escorting you to your interview was not okay with that. He was very surprised by it, and you might have hurt him. And I get it that you're only, about $140 or so, and that probably wouldn't hurt him all that much. But could you not? Thank you. Anyway, does it affect the betting odds? Here's what I'm going to speak to you, person to person. Yeah, it's probably going to affect the betting odds. Because, Vegas hates this sort of shit, man. Vegas gets real nervous and scary as a market. So, that's what I got for you. I've got Huber coming in, but I do want to take a second to acknowledge Silva is speaking in English. And I think in that kind of coherence thing that he's talking right now is saying that he did a spinning thing, so Dana bring him into the fold. So I don't really know what those words are, but I do have to cheers him. I am intrigued to hear what our friend, one Dan Hubler, has to say about this fight. We'll get to him, but I think that means first, before we go any further, we actually have to get around to putting on the branding on. So ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to switch on over to a segment we like to call Risk It All.
Bitch better have my money. Hey, what you owe me? Bitch better have my money.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the show our good friend, and yours hopefully, one Dan Hubler. Dan, how are you doing, sir?
Well, we're off to a rough start this week with that JP Bays fight. Myself and a lot of other people thought that he was a pretty good lock on this card, that his wrestling would kind of hold up, and for some reason he just decided to not use any of that and make it a kickboxing fight. So it was definitely not going the way that I thought it might. It looked like he was getting going a little bit in the second round there, and then all of a sudden, that forward roll was super cool, though. When he got knocked down that first time and he tried to Ninja Turtle out of that shit, that was pretty neat. So can't be mad. Very entertaining.
Are you mad about this flip that happens outside the octagon? Because that poor gentleman escorting him was not really feeling that.
Yeah, I mean, I dig it because he was fighting for his, UFC life tonight. He's lost. I mean, technically, he's only lost 2 in a row, but he's really lost 3. And I'm sure if he would have lost this fight, he would have got cut. And winning over a pretty highly promoted prospect and needing to make a name for himself, I see why he's doing all the extra stuff to kind of keep the buzz going.
I'm very sorry. But I guess maybe by our own rules, because we kind of make up our own rules as we go. I don't know that we can count this one against you, because I only put something on the screen that showed what you had sent me, but you really didn't officially preview it, so I guess it really doesn't come as a bad reflection, at least from this show. I can't tell you that you didn't lose money.
It comes as a bad reflection to my wallet, so it doesn't really matter. I don't mind taking my losses. It's fine.
Fair enough. All right. I just wanted to let you know that as I was previewing it, I got to a moment where you were talking about some of the things that you have on your little bullet points there. And I go, well, I think Dan's highlighting, he just got clipped with that straight right. Yeah, that's not great. But I would tell you, though, it does raise a question that we had somebody ask. I'll repeat it so that I can get your odds. But the question was, so when he loses this fight, would you tell your wife you lost? I don't think she's in the corner. Or do you have her just focus on her fight?
I don't know. They have kind of like that weird relationship, though. I've been watching all the behind the scenes stuff, and it seems like they're always side by side. So I'm sure she already knows. I don't know, but I mean, the matchups are night and day from one another. You know what I mean? They're both going to come in with a very different game plan, or they definitely should have come in with a different game plan. So I don't think so much him losing his fight is going to have an effect on her, ability to win her fight. I think those two things are apples and oranges from each other.
Well, here's the second part of the question that I think is probably more important, which is follow-up. Do you think that affects her confidence? I already know your answer on that. / betting odds.
Yeah, let me take a look. It might have moved the line a little bit because, they were really hyping up the fact that, they're training partners all the time at home and, all this other stuff. So maybe, it might adjust the line because people are going to assume that, hey, if he's not, if he didn't look that great in his fight, maybe he's not training that hard. And if he's not training that hard, maybe she's not. So I could see it maybe potentially moving the line a little bit. And she's currently sitting at minus 260, which is a little bit lower than it was previously. I saw it as high as like three something. So the line is moving down. So I guess if you were going to bet on Cheyenne, you might want to wait a little bit closer to the start and then hammer it right before the fight starts because you might get a more attractive line. But that was one of the fights I was kind of staying away from anyway. So I'll probably throw some money on Cheyenne at that price, but I'll wait and see what it is closer to the bell.
I'm glad that's the case because when he asked me that, my only answer was I can almost guarantee you it spooked enough people to drop down a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to make them change it all outright, but I do know those kind of moments are the moments that you see in Vegas where they go, nah, I'm not feeling it right now.
Yeah, it is one of those moments too where it's like, you have this highly decorated, nearly Olympic level wrestler going into a fight, and you think you know what to probably expect out of him, and then none of that happens. So it kind of just throws you off for the whole rest of the card. It's the first fight, and you have this Olympic wrestler kickboxing for 7.5 minutes, and now you question the entire rest of the card, and you're not really sure what anything's going to happen. But yeah, it'd still be fun.
I think the weirder part for me was the jumping attacks where I go, could we not? We don't need any.
Yeah, and the slipping. Right now, slipping immediately after. That was a bad look. But, this is his debut. Hopefully he learns from it.
Well, speaking of learn from it, why don't we go ahead and see the rest of what you have outlined for us? I'll go ahead and give you the honor.
Yeah, so I guess we're moving on to this next fight. And Jesse Strader I'm taking a flyer on him. He's the biggest underdog on the card. Massive odds on him. If you were to bet the money line, I think it's sitting somewhere around plus 480 right now. But I'm going with the scorecards no action. And for those of you who are unaware of those bets, scorecards no action means, if my guy wins inside the distance, then my bet wins. But if it goes to the judges, the bet is simply canceled. So I think, obviously Strader has a lot of power. He's got great scrambles. He's obviously taken this fight on short notice. The whole 10-day thing it is probably a bit of an issue as far as why he missed weight by 1.5 pounds. But I personally know Jesse, and I know he's in good shape. I know he's this wasn't something, he didn't get called and sitting on the couch and took this fight. I know he's already in pretty good shape. So I think there's a lot of value there. I mean, he has a lot of power. If he's going to win this fight, it's probably going to be by a TKO. That's how he's won most of the fights in his career. But I do worry, with the short notice, if it goes into round 2, late in round 2, goes into round 3, will he gas out type of thing. So in those types of situations where you think the path to victory is going to be an early KO, these scorecards, no action lines can sometimes save you because, your guy might look great in round 1 and then round 2, round 3, it comes down to a close decision. And when if it's going to go to a decision, I think might be pretty close. I don't want to bet on that. So scorecards, no action. That's the bet plus 566. So you bet, $5, you win $28.30.
Interesting note here. I would also kind of ask you a question on this one, just because you do know the person who does miss weight a little bit. What goes through your mind? Does it change anything? Because sometimes these people who miss weight are people that we just don't know.
Well, I think it doesn't change anything for me in this regard because he took the fight on 10 days notice. So missing weight by 1.5 pounds in at the 135-pound weight class, that's already such a low weight to, miss it by only 1.5 pounds on 10 days notice. I don't think is that big. I think also, it's probably going through his head that this is his UFC debut. As long as he puts on a decent performance, they're going to bring him back. So missing that 1.5 pounds and having to give up a little bit of his purse is well worth it to get his foot in the door type of situation. Yeah, I'll take the fight. I might miss weight by a little bit, have to give up a little bit of money, but at least I'm in the UFC now, and at least I'm going to get a second fight,
Fair enough. Let's go to your third pick of the evening, sir.
Third up, I got Giles. Scorecards, no action once again. This is a fight where, interestingly enough, the scorecards, no action line is a little bit juicier than the money line. He's sitting about minus 110 as the money line, basically a pick 'em. But scorecards, no action, I think, is the better play here because Giles has been known to be defensively a little bit unsound, absorbs some shots that he probably shouldn't, gets in situations where he doesn't need to be. The Gerald Meerschaert fight where he took him down, and got submitted submitted from the top position, just kind of stands out. So, as far as fight IQ, he's made some, mistakes in previous fights. So, you don't know about him winning the full 3 rounds. So as far as his path to victory, obviously is probably going to be with his hands, keeping the fight standing, maybe potentially getting a TKO. And with those both being in play, scorecards, no action makes the most sense. I think if he's going to win, it's probably going to be by a knockout. If he loses, it'll probably be by a decision. So scorecards, no action does cover me on both sides of that.
I noticed there was a trend. You went with 3 of the earliest fights here tonight. Why were these 3 at the bottom of the card the most enticing to you?
Well, I kind of spoke to you about that before, but you kind of have to look at the entire card and look for where the maximum value is. And, if you look further up the card, you got Kevin Holland, who's a pretty sizable favorite, not a lot of value there. You got Cheyenne, but who's a huge favorite, compared to everyone else on the card. Not a ton of value there. And then you got Macy, who's also, a huge favorite. Tai Tuivasa, huge favorite. So when you're looking at the card and you see these fights where, someone like Tai Tuivasa, who's I think 4-2 in the UFC, is a massive favorite. That's, is he going to win? Probably. But do I want to bet on him at minus 400? Probably not. So you kind of look at the entire card and find the fights where, the probability and the value finds that nice little groove, and, you take a risk. That's how it goes.
We had a note earlier that said from a fan that they enjoyed Song. They were looking forward to seeing him fight. It seems like you also are excited to see him fight. You have put him as your final pick for this evening. Walk us through why you are putting him on your picks.
Yeah, well, first of all, he's the underdog going into this fight, so I'm taking him with the plus points line. The way this works is if it goes to the judges' scorecards and my guy loses by fewer than 3 points, my bet still wins. So I'm taking Song plus 3.5 points in a little bit, of a less risky line at minus 185. I like this fight to probably go to a decision. I think it's very closely matched. I think that Griffin kind of, has the same defensive holes that he's had in a lot of his fights where he's a little bit too passive. He gives up rounds. He might think he's ahead in a fight where he's not really. And we've seen Griffin go to a split decision, 6 times in his career. So I think that kind of issue is something that doesn't just go away. It's kind of plagued him throughout his UFC career. He's gone on this trend where he wins one fight and then he loses 2, and then he wins one, then he loses 2, and now he's won 1. And so according to past history, he should lose the next 2. And, those kind of analytics obviously don't make any kind of sense, and they're complete garbage, but I can't help but take Song at these odds. I think Song is probably going to win this one outright, but I do feel more comfortable having those extra points in case this one goes a split decision.
That makes sense. I would also be curious to find out, do you have any preliminary feelings about the main event, though? Because I noticed you mentioned, okay, Derek, Kevin, good matchup, but you're obviously not telling us to make any bets on this one.
Brunson's kind of hard to peg. He's definitely a guy where you don't really know what to expect from him. I was big on Edmund before that fight, and Brunson shocked us all. You know what I mean? He's risen to the occasion more than once in this fight. I think he's the rightful underdog against Holland, but I think also if you pick the type of fighter to beat Holland, Brunson's that guy. So it all comes down to, is he going to be the Brunson that charges forward with his chin sticking out, or is he going to be the more measured Brunson who waits and finds his shots? I don't really know what's going to happen. I think probably Holland takes it, because he's a little bit more dynamic everywhere. But at the same time, I wouldn't be shocked if this was something where Brunson gets him down early, wears him out, and then, coasts his way to a decision. So I'm not really sure about that fight, but I do favor Holland in it.
When you see something such as a touch butt, does that weigh into any sort of considerations for betting, Dan?
The biggest issue with that fight is the hair, because Super Saiyan Brunson is undefeated. He has not lost a fight with his blonde hair. Bleach blonde-haired fighters are on a tear over the last year or two. I hoped I sent a message on Instagram to Kevin Holland. I said, please bleach your hair. Like that it'll negate any additional power that Brunson gets in this fight and kind of mess up that whole thing. But he obviously has not done so. So I'm a little bit worried about the hair, but I still think Holland gets it done.
Do you think he saw it, or do you think that he left it on red?
No, I think that guy smokes a lot of weed, so he probably doesn't see a lot of things. So
I will ask you this. If we are looking at all things considered, we're about a month away from Askren and Paul. They're already starting to do the media circus. Do you have any predictions or things to look out for? Because this is press week for that fight. Is there anything in particular you're looking out for in that world?
Man, I've been watching the clips, the things that get released, and over social media and stuff like that. And I think Paul looks pretty good, man. Obviously hitting bags is one thing, but he looks pretty good. And I know he's not, the fight veteran that Askren is, but he's young, he's athletic. He has that background in wrestling, so don't tell me the guy doesn't know how to work out. I'm sure he's a bit, probably like a sponge in there. He has nothing else to do except, train for this fucking fight. I don't want to bet on that fight, but if I was going to bet on that fight, it'd probably be on Paul at this point. Just don't know what to expect in that one.
None of us do. And I think it's kind of weird to see Askren making the rounds being like, I mean, maybe I am a bad boxer. Who knows? We'll see if he's gotten better and what he's done. So it is a bit of a mess on that side.
But, I mean, what's the alternative? What's the alternative? He implies that he's suddenly become this expert boxer and he shows up just fucking looking like Ben Askren again. I mean, there's no real alternative. He's kind of stuck in this box where he has to embrace it.
I mean, good for him, man. He's going to get paid. I guess that's the only thing I'm looking at right now. And speaking of which, Jackson, pretty crisp strikes to start off the match. Strader, obviously, in there as well. I would also be a little remiss if I didn't ask about the odds that Dana White put on earlier in the year when he said, if you're going to bet on something, bet on me getting Khabib to come back. And then this week discovering, no, guys, Khabib officially retired. Whereas the rest of us said,
that was the easiest.
No, he officially retired last year.
Yeah, that was the easiest money you possibly could have made. But the only issue with those bets on the sports books are that you have to let the sports book basically hold your money for a year, and that sometimes isn't something you want to do. So betting no on that, I think it was pretty even odds at one point. Was obviously the play to make, but who wants to let the book hold your money for a year?
Has there ever been a bet that you made that you forgot about?
All the time. Yeah, all the time. I don't know how many bets are in my ledger right now on way too many. Let me see my graded wagers right now. For this month, I'm at 92 bets. So, yeah, of course I forget some.
Oh, speaking of which, right now it does look like Jackson is going to get a finish, unfortunately, on Strader. Man, I think Strader's looking pretty not distraught, but I mean, I think he's trying to figure out if it was something like injury there, if he looks okay, but looks like a pretty clean.
No, that was a clean shot.
Yeah. I think he's just in that phase of when you get the shit kicked out of you and you have to come back to the world and go, oh, dude, this really hurts. This chin. Oh, these shots look good though, man.
Yeah, that was clean. It was great. I mean, there's a reason why he's the biggest underdog on the card. You know what I mean? He's going up against the guy who's a 6-fight UFC veteran. He's taking it on 10 days' notice. I didn't anticipate him getting finished. I thought, if he was going to lose, it might be a decision. But, it happens. And realistically, he took the fight on 10 days' notice, so he'll probably get another call, and he'll get a fight that he has a full camp for, and we'll see him back.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I don't want you to do the cheers for that one. I'll do this one. But would you mind doing the toast for our first winner of the evening, one Bruno Gustavo de Silva?
Yeah, I'll do that, even though he cost me a little bit of money. I'm glad he gets to keep his job in the UFC. It was a big win for him. I'm glad he made it a little bit personal with the little dances afterwards, so he's going to get that extra coverage on social media. Good for him. I wish him great success. Good job tonight. Cheers.
Look at this. Dan being prepared with the sparkling water of many different assortments and types.
White grape. Yeah.
White grape. But Dan, I've heard rumor you are fully vaccinated, so it's getting closer, hopefully, for you to getting back to the IPAs, correct?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I'm definitely going to wait the 2 weeks before I start going back to jiu-jitsu. But after that, I'm going to go back to that, and hopefully life gets back to normal. I know I have to go back to the classroom on the 12th of next month. So I think, things are starting to go back to normal.
Do you have a spray bottle ready for them to just kind of cleanse them at any point?
Yeah, I think it's, I can't really comment on it because I don't really know the details. I don't think anyone knows the details, but it's going to be pretty crazy as far as the cohorts and moving kids out so you can gas the room and then clean it and go back. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see.
I understand that world all too much right now. I'll do the one for one, Montel Jackson. Cheers to you, good sir. Listen, I totally understand how you come into this. Things don't look your way. Opponent misses weight. But here's some good news. You get some nice strikes in there. You finish the fight. You make it look good. And everybody goes home happy. Maybe not your opponent. But the rest of us, very pleased for you. Congratulations to you, Montel Jackson. One of the fighters, the only fighters, to actually have the names of two just very random R&B singers that they just sounded like they pushed them together into one. They're like, I really like Montel Jordan, but I'm gonna change it. Montel Jackson, that seems like the way to go.
And I'm sure it can't suck to get a first-round knockout, not spend too much time in there, and so you can get a quick turnaround fight and the extra money because your opponent missed weight. Must not be, a very bad night for him.
He's going to be very happy in this post-fight interview. I guess, Dan, that's going to go ahead and wrap us up for today. Next week, though, is UFC 260. Is there anything that you were excited about before we even get to the betting next week?
Who's the main on 260?
It is going to be, I believe, Francis and
fight?
Stipe.
Yeah, the heavyweight fight. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's another weird one because it's like everyone probably thinks the same thing. They see Francis and they know his, what he's known for, and they know what he does to other people. But he just didn't do that to Stipe in the first fight. You know what I mean? He just couldn't do it to Stipe. So, you think in one reality that Francis probably knocks this guy's fucking head off, and you justify it with all the different reasons why it should happen, and then it just doesn't fucking happen. And I love those kind of fights. The fights where you just don't know what could happen are the best ones to watch, and they're even better when they're at heavyweight when anyone can get knocked out like that. So I'm very excited for that fight, but it's not one you would ever want to bet the mortgage on.
Not at all. Well, Dan, I'm going to let you get on out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in with us this week. We'll catch you next week for UFC 260, sir.
All right, take care, guys.
Have a great one. All right, Dan Hubler, everybody, once again coming in to educate us on the thing. I need to take off his thing. That's not the right branding. I can go ahead and actually kill one of these. Take that off. Well, bam, and go ahead and put something else here in just a second. So I'll take your questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations, all of your good stuff. Hit me up in the comments section. Could not be more pleased to be with you guys here tonight. And look, you're going to see the branding fly right in front of your faces. That's how you know this is a professional telecast. We do it right in front of you because the pre-made scenes don't always work the right way. Well, bam, and we're back. What's up, Casey Blondo? How are you doing, bud? Congratulations on your previous win. I don't know how you're doing. I don't know when you're competing again. I hope it's going well. I hope that you're doing well. It's been a minute since we've seen and chatted, bud, but I am always trying to keep up with the latest that you are up to and doing. It's a good time to remind you guys, tomorrow we're actually going to come back and do a UFC, one of these things, Fight Pass, watch along for the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. It always feels like we call them worlds, even though it's like every single one of them. Like, can they all be worlds? Is there some sort of ruling on that? Because it seems like there's too many goddamn worldses. Either way, very pleased to have you guys. The next fight coming up here in just a second is, to my knowledge, going to be Trevor Giles and Roman Deledes. So that is coming up next. Meanwhile, we are about to go live over on our Instagram as well. So we're going to have some friends joining us on that one, I believe, as well. So they'll be doing their comments, concerns, hints, and allegations. So talk to me in the chat section. We got a few minutes to kill before we get to the next fight. And I am very pleased that we'll be able to chat with you guys all night long. Because that's where we're going to be, right here. We're going to be watching the fights with you guys. There's still 8 more fights left to go. It's kind of weird to be starting at 4:30. I'm not used to this sort of a turnaround with the UFC. Normally we start at like 2 or 3. To actually get some time to do some other shit today was blissful. But it does mean we're going to be on for a little bit. So, they're going to the middleweight rankings, of course. Izzy Adesanya, your king. Brunson and Holland deep in the top 10 right there. And they're always looking, like, Adesanya really wants that fight with Darren Till just for the ability to talk shit and have fun. And I think he just likes him. He's already beaten Whitaker pretty handily and Costa. So, I get why we had to make shift for a fight a few weeks ago for him to just go up a weight class. But that is not all, guys. We have so much show for you, and I'm so excited you're here. And I'm just going to take on a different voice every few minutes just to see if I need to go ahead and fill some time. Because we are here for a bit, in case we haven't mentioned that enough. And you are seeing some nice looks of training in the pool in case you ever need to shadow box. Don't worry, Derek totally chills and gets some good kicks in from his own damn self here. So anyway, hit me. What has been on your guys' minds the past few months? And it says, all up, bro, finishing by clock choke 134 this past Sunday. Ironically, I was thinking about that time you almost put me to sleep with the same move. Oh, no. Oh, God. Yeah, we're good training partners, I promise. That's good, dude. Yeah, I always try to monitor that. I've gone out. I totally know what that experience feels like, but I always try to monitor my my training partners because it can be dicey, and a clock choke really does fucking sneak up on you very quickly. So either way, Casey, I know you're killing it, man. I'll always love seeing you get on those submission hunter cards, and they look like fun, man. They look like they're a blast. So I hope that you continue to keep up that good work. And I hope you come visit us sooner than later, man. We miss you out this way. Be good to get in some rounds again. Though don't try and put me out with a clock choke. That we don't do that here. So adding the title over on this, UFC. Can you believe we're at UFC Vegas 22? We have now had so many of these stupid events at the whatchamacallit, at the Performance Center that we've been doing this. And I see here it says, it's coming. I don't know what that means. Better not be, dude. Don't you know I can heel hook in the gi now? Like, fam. The IBJJF says it's cool to do that, so that's all I'm going to be doing now. Which, by the way, is still my favorite thing in the world. You were involved in shit like that before it was even a thing that the IBJJF sanctioned and said was cool to do. I'll never forget when you said, no, it's cool, Raf. Let him do heel hooks in the gi. That's what we do. We do that. I'll be fine. And I was like, fam, that's all he's going to do. He doesn't know how to do anything else in the gi. But that's how you know we have true love and appreciation. Here's a good time to remind you guys. Here's the quickest way to get a cheers, a toast on the broadcast. All you have to do is give us a like and a share on your Facebook, a subscription on YouTube, or if you're watching on Instagram, which we're about to go in just a second, you just have to give us a nice little tag on your Instagram stories to say, come watch this show. That's it. We make it pretty easy for you guys. And speaking of which, making it super easy for us right now is all of us going on the Instagram in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza. We are watching some UFC Vegas 22. I'm pleased to have you guys. We are simulcasting this on our Instagram on Verbal Tap, as well as all Grappling Hour properties. We have seen 2 very, very strong finishes here tonight. We've already done 2 cheers and many more for those who give us likes and shares. So we are going to be there. What is up, the Rage NG? Good to see you. I see Dan the Preacher is joined. Demilo25. We have so much to talk about this evening. I see over here it just says, let's go. Appreciate that. And Casey Blondo coming in, commenting and saying, heel hook in the gi. For sure. Absolutely, dude. If the IBJJF says to do it, I'm going to do it like 5 times, fam. Because that's what I'm going to do. None of this reaping bullshit either. I'm going to just do it just because I feel like it. What's up, Abode? Woo! We have already seen some good UFC television here tonight. 2 knockouts, 2 stoppages. It has been great. Bruno Gustavo da Silva getting a stoppage over JP Buys. And then just a few seconds ago, Montel Jackson. I always have to watch how I pronounce it because I know another famous Montel there. And it says we already have, what's up, Azelle Robert? We already have a cup check and an eye poke. Bro, they didn't waste any time. And you know what it is? It's like whatever we were supposed to learn the previous week. We just go, oh, let's do that again. Should we kick him in the nads? Sounds good. We doing eye pokes now? Wham. What's up, BJJ Police? And it says, who gonna do the illegal knee? I don't know, man. Don't put that shit on us. We don't need that right now. I do know that they're probably getting out their illegal disqualification bingo card and just making their way down it. It's like, I got free spot here, cup check, and eye poke. So I just need 2 more spots to get my bingo. And I wish we would actually create that as a prize. That would actually be a lot of fun to do one of these days. when I get an actual sponsor that I think would be into that sort of a thing, I think we would do that, and I think it would be a blast. So anyway, Azell Robert, what is up, Raph? Not too much, my friend. Mostly just watching some fights. I'm feeling much better now that you've arrived. And, of course, since they're killing time, we're killing time. If I see Bisping doing what is the equivalent of shtick that you would see at an open microphone, we have time to talk with you guys and take your questions, comments, concerns, hints, and allegations. And I see here a note that says, if I had to bet, I'd say Brunson with the illegal knee. Don't do that to us. I'm not in that mood tonight. We've been 2 events in a row with this bullshit where we just saw something about to happen on a finish, and instead of getting a finish, we end up getting a, oops, I didn't know I could do this. This is the shit that makes me angry, guys. This is like, we have perfectly fine UFC events that are going on, and then all of a sudden that happens, and all of us look at each other like, well, yikes, that sucked. Especially when you have an eye poke to end the event. Having an eye poke to end the event is one of those moments that no one can really go to bed too happy. No! Fuck you guys! You put this shit on this! No, UFC announces Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega is off UFC 260 next weekend due to COVID protocol. No! Oh, this is your fault. This is all your fault. Hoping for Kevin with illegal knee. Yeah, we're all hoping legal knees happen. This is going to put me in a bad mood. That would have been great. I was really looking forward to Volkanovski and Ortega. Well, that's a bummer. Let's all take a moment of silence to fucking, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking drink. That's all I gotta do. Oh, that one hurts. To kill time, what jiu-jitsu event are you looking forward to the most? Probably tomorrow, dude. Tomorrow we're gonna have the combat jiu-jitsu. Granted, it's kind of the same people again that we always have, but the next combat jiu-jitsu that happens in March has a very interesting roster. If I remember correctly, I think it's like Cody Steele. You've got Nathan Orchard in that one of the Rotolo twins. Like, just alone those 3 already, that makes it a very exciting card to see. But you did make a mention here, Abode, of the best event in the world. WWE BJJ Week is almost upon us. So we're 2 weeks away from it officially starting. Yeah, that's probably the biggest news in all of sports entertainment in the jiu-jitsu world. So that'll be fun. We always get a lot of video submissions. And I don't want to say anything, but you guys are family. What if I were to tell you the people who submit the best WWE BJJ Week submission this year might get a customized title belt? Would that change things? Would that make you want to do it more? Because we always try to give out a prize. And this year I just thought, why not a championship belt? And why not a uniquely designed championship belt? Our good friend, World's Deadliest Art, who is a jiu-jitsu black belt, has been giving us the artwork that has been just entrancing us for years. And he and I kind of floated the idea around. And he said, dude, I will draw you the most batshit title that you can think of. And that's currently where we're at. So if you guys are interested or receptive to that sort of a thing, just let me know. And it says what that is. So WWE BJJ Week is the week where we combine the best of pro wrestling and the best of jiu-jitsu. And people are allowed to submit match videos. They're allowed to submit technique demonstrations, slice of life moments, tell storylines, cut promos. It is the greatest week in all of jiu-jitsu because people go nuts. They show techniques, they do matches, and we're talking not just fans of our show. We're talking people who are legitimate jiu-jitsu and MMA practitioners get in on the fun as well. So that is what we are looking forward to. So that's why we were deciding, because in years past, we've given out merch from our sponsors for the winners. We've given out some fun other kind of sponsored gifts that we have from our show. But I thought about it, and a title belt seems like it's appropriate, right? And I'm not talking like Kmart title. I'm talking like a legit fun title. So just saying. So yeah, Rage, that's what we do, man. And it is one of my favorite like themed years to do. And as Adam Wood says, WWE BJJ Week is my favorite time of the year. Mine too. Because sometimes I'm legitimately surprised by the creativity of the people who watch this show, who come up with really, really fun and stupid ideas. And, it's always good. I really enjoy things that make us take ourselves a little less seriously in the sport. And I think this is one of the few times that we end up doing silly shit. So that's what's in the works. That is what we are looking for. What is up, Kevin D44? Welcome to the show. We watching us some UFC Vegas 22. This is the third fight of the evening. I love that. Raising your hand like you're spouting off your present in the classroom. Can't get enough of it. I think we still have, 3 more fights on these early prelims. The next fight is going to be Leonardo Santos versus Grant Dawson. So that's next on the docket. But right in front of us right now, Trevor Giles and Roman Deledes. So get excited. Let us get in on it right now. Ring Girl gives us a peace signal, which signals our time to watch this next fight. And it says, I went reply as a wave. No, you're fine, dude. I'm not not going to give you more shit than that. Everybody who shows up and is friendly, I have no issue on what you're doing. Just a good time to remind you guys, give us a like, a share of Facebook, and give us a subscription on YouTube, or tag us on your Instagram and say that you are watching this show with a photo or a still shot, and we will give you a cheers, just like we do those fighters who get finishes within regulation. And it's a good time to remind you guys. Meanwhile, as we see Giles in the black trunks and Deledes in the white, silverish, grayish, whatever you want to call those. And here's an interesting thing. You are seeing Deledes already starting to come in with the Matrix, like, come at me, bro, wave, which is kind of weird. I thought that's the whole point of fighting. And especially in the 50 seconds that they've been going on this far in, to do this at somebody is like, bro, we just started, man. Like, what the fuck do you think we're going to do for the next 15 minutes? But yes, I did see a note over here earlier. It says it's time for the Canadian Destroyer, the ultimate move. If you can land that, bro, that's the shit. And if you could do it in a jiu-jitsu setting, that would be even better. Herb Dean giving them some time to, I think, self-reflect, and then puts them right back into the thick of it. 3:38 on my clock. Hopefully you are somewhere in the same region. And Giles looking very light on his feet, starting to stock up a little bit. Lees comes in with a feint on the right leg kick, switches stances. Now is starting to press forward, but Giles, man, Giles' movement looks pretty good, all things considered. But tell me what you guys are feeling tonight. I will take your questions in between rounds. 3 minutes left in round number 1. I think it's a good time to also mention some of the back tattoos of one Deledes. I think they kind of look like, if you're going to get good tattoos in the UFC, you got to make sure we know what the fuck they are. I'm looking at them right now, and they don't really inspire anything. They don't make me think like, oh man, that's really good. Does he have like a family tree one? And if he does, how come he's not willing to go the full extent and get that like sized up? Nice angle there by Giles. BT Dubs finds it very quickly, steps out of the way. Goes up for an axe kick, but does not really complete it. Instead, the two exchange 2 hooks on the side. Speaking of which, I think the action has already gotten a rise out of my dog, who is awoken from her slumber to take a quick glance at the action that is on the television. And nope, she's back down to sleep. All right, fair enough. It says Giles better get his hands up. I would agree with you. This kind of very loose form of trying to entice your opponent to strike with you is a very, very tricky thing to do. Like, I don't see a lot of people who have a high ability to do it with payoff. Luigi Mo says, hola, hola to you. And it says, I think the back tattoo is a tiger. Is it? Is that what that is? I'm pretty far away from my TV, so it is kind of hard to see. Meanwhile, Deledes coming in. He has a waist lock from the back. At this point, is doing the most considerate foot stomp I think I've ever seen in the UFC. It's one that's like, just gonna stomp on these, bud. Don't mean to be too mean to you. He's still got that grip around the waist. He might be able to make something of it, but instead now is just putting tons of pressure on Giles up against the cage. Giles, in transition, does not really get much movement out of it and is now trying to fend off some knees. I think he's looking a little too lackadaisical. At this point, I think he was literally grabbing in the nether regions to maybe try and stop it. And the word I'm getting right now from MMA Fighting says Alexander Volkanovski is the one that is out of that fight due to the COVID protocols. So that's a fucking oof. Rorschach tattoos. That's honestly what I think most tattoos should be. It's like a real Rorschach test where you see what's in there. And you kind of tell your therapist. They just bring in some people with some really bad back tattoos and go, what do you see here? Be like, dad issues? I don't know. It's a tramp stamp. Don't ask me that, bro. It is unfortunate that the co-main is canceled, but who do you have between Gregor Gillespie versus Brad Rydell? Interesting question. Gregor. I gotta think about that. Let me come back to you. I'm gonna answer a couple more questions, but I'm actually gonna keep that one up. So thank you very much for that one, Luigi Mo. What is up, Ed Salmorin 2745? These sound like passwords, honestly, sometimes. Guys, you worry me with some of your login names. Every time I see the numbers on them. Ugh. I don't know, man. I gotta think about that because I felt like my initial answer was going to be Gillespie. But I do appreciate that you started off this sentence, by the way, by saying, unfortunate that the co-main is canceled. However, we got to move on. Bigger question here, Raph. I'll put it out to you guys. Who do you have on that one? Would you have any particular way that you're feeling about it? Because if I'm just looking back a little bit more about what? I'm trying to think of the last time I even saw Brad Rydell. Rydell's last fight was, back in 2020, September 27th, and he had the win over Alex De Silva, and that was a good fight. So 27th, he also fought February 2020 against Magomed Mustafa. Oof. Were we going to see a low blow there? We're back on action as well. I'll come back to your question. I'm going to keep it up, Luigi Mo. Meanwhile, round number 2. And yeah, Rage, I think you're right. The extra pronounced I'm not keeping my hands up by Giles while still within range is a little concerning. A switch of stance by Deledes. Jesus, my puppy is snoring hard. In case you guys can hear that. What's up, Kyle? It has been forever, my friend. I hope you are doing well. I am looking forward to training with you. Hopefully sooner than later, my man. Oof, nice kick there. Over by Deledes. I got 3:45 left on my clock. And yeah... You know what's nice is seeing that every once in a while you do see Deledes noticing that Giles' hands are down. And when he does start to press forward, he's like, dude, if you're not going to keep him up, I'm just going to wait and sneak it up on you when you are not ready. Soon, you just got vaxxed. Dude, I'm double vaxxed as well. So we need to make that happen, my man. I've been doing my best to try and keep safe and smart and working on a show right now. And I like it. But dude, I feel so hella rusty training right now. Like, all my go-go gadgets don't work properly. Good kick to the midsection there again by Deledes. I mean, right now they're already talking about the amount of damage that they are doing in terms of the fight, but nice clip there by Deledes, and this time Giles almost is able to take advantage of the moment. Holy shit, Deledes. This is why I hate tall people. The fact that tall people can somehow make this work, that is, I mean, it's not the world's best heel hook, but at the very least, it's control of the leg that most people wouldn't be able to have. He's switching the leg on over to the other side, and you are seeing Giles not really trying to escape it. This could be problematic for him. There's no way for him to roll at this point, so it's all going to be complicit on if he is able to get the mechanics to finish. What is nice and working for one Giles's advantage here is the fact that he's able to punch his way out of some of these situations. Meanwhile, if I was Deledes, though, I might kind of give up on this leg attack. It is not the most advantageous avenue at this point, but, you know, stranger things have fucking happened, dude. Whenever I do a heel hook on somebody, I'm not trying to get back fist like that. No thanks. It's viable, though. That is a good pinch to it. He has another shot of finishing it, and I don't see Giles doing too much to escape it. That knee line is still heavily compromised here. And this is, I'm sure to many people, a very wacky setup between the two. Oh, stop hitting me and elbowing me in the face, dude. Yeah, this is why I was saying just a few minutes ago, I don't know how much you really want to hold on to that heel hook when somebody can just beat the shit out of you with their hands like that. Yeah, this could be a very, very solid finishing position, but I didn't love the way that Deledes played that one, is what it is. Both of the gentlemen back up on their feet. Deledes coming in, getting in a few knees to the leg here, probably trying to soften it up. Maybe might want to try for one, either drag down or slam, depending on where he's going. Or he might just feel good enough putting this pressure on him to kind of go out in the round. But I did like that slip out there by Giles. It was nicely timed, and you could tell he came back on the offense as much as he could. But once again, right back to that control there for Deledes. Giles is really not trying to be in this position, and I totally understand that. If you can get out of this position, it is a good time to do so. 14 seconds left to go in round number 2. Which has been a very interesting affair, to say the least. All right. Tell me how you guys have it scored. Hopefully it is not out of the realm of what it should be. I think it's pretty straightforward on this one, but we'll see. All right. So we were discussing a little bit earlier, Luigi Mo, about Gregor and Brad Rydell. So before I give you a fight pick, I want to refresh where Gregor was on his last few fights. He did have a loss, a KO head kick back at UFC 244. That was pre-pandemic. I don't love fighters who are almost at the 2-year mark, so that's a year and a half of being inactive. But up until then, he had fight wins over Yancy Medeiros, Jordan Rinaldi, friend of the show, Vince Pichel. I don't know, man. I don't love 2 years off. But I was saying that I was instinctively feeling Gillespie at the beginning. That's tough. Looking at Luiz's last active win, it was a decision win. I'm not going to go against my gut. Even though my gut doesn't love the fact that there's a year and a half layoff, I'll go Gillespie on this one. If you feel a different way, Luigi Mo, you tell me, my friend. I am not above hearing a discussion on that one. What is up, No Deer 4668? Hopefully you're having a good day. Thank you for joining us. Oh, man, Rage. Oof. These lackadaisical hands have me concerned. It's like when he backsteps and he keeps the hands down. It's like, yeah, dude, you're waiting for him to counter and rush into you. But the problem is, that has not always been the soundest of strategies. What's up, Fede Bunti? And then what is up, Dead Grappler Society? Thank you for joining us. We're watching us some UFC Vegas 22. I hope you are. If you're not, get with it. And if you don't have it, that's fine. I'll give you some play-by-play to kind of help you through it. Woo! Gillespie connecting, but I'm sorry, Gillespie. You guys got me thinking about that other fight. Deledes connecting on that one, but he is still behind on that second round. Appreciate that sup. Not much, my man. Mostly just staying calm, staying safe, working a ton. I see a note about a lead right hand by Giles. And Giles with this large smile on his face, like he has been putting on a masterclass of striking. It's kind of hard to see when it's not even fully in his bag that he's going to win this fight. Like, this is a pretty important round nonetheless, especially given Vegas judges. Oh, nice. Giles with a stiff strike that has Deledes on the ground, and you are seeing a nice headlock here. Look at that emoji from Rage right now. That was beautifully timed. I have to give him that, but Deledes is slowly starting to get his wits back about him. He might be able to 2-on-1 here, and Giles comes in with a nice body shot. Immediately, Deledes tried to clinch back up for a split second, and I have to believe that Deledes, even though he's recovered in that time where he got to catch his breath, he's not fully recovered. So yeah, you're going to see more of the same from, he is on Dream Street over here. And just out of instinct, you are seeing Deledes try to grab for a leg, to go again for a leg attack, and does find himself. There is a possible knee bar here. I don't love how he's getting out of this. He just needs to switch it on over to the other arm, but that was in play. And we're still not out of the woods yet. But he uses that knee bar attempt as now a form of passing. Fuck off, dude. It says, is this pay-per-view or is it free with ESPN Plus? This is free with your ESPN Plus subscription. Should be on ESPN2 or ESPN Plus. Drop some elbows. Absolutely, dude. This is the time where you need to win that fight. If that dude got that big of a knockdown on you, this is not the time to check the oil or try to power bomb the dude. We need to rack up some of these strikes to put you back into contention, my friend. And I get that you're tired, but summon all of the energy of that questionable dragon that is put on the back of your back. Minute 40 left to go here. Yeah, dude. You're going to need more, a lot more to kind of cut that difference in this round. Giles's strike is probably of the most... And dude, you have a clear shot of trying to attack here. I do understand that Giles is grabbing a 2-on-1 on this hand, but this is not the time to give the world's worst transition for hooks to finish a rear naked choke, which was not the case at all. Nice strike there. I mean, he keeps grabbing that nose, dude. I would imagine there is some damage there. And it says questionable dragon. And listen, bro, this is... Nobody knows what the fuck that is. And people told me that was a fucking dragon or tiger. Like, I don't know, man. It looks like one of those really ghetto high school mascots that you have where they go, it symbolizes our school. And you go, does it? It looks really bad, dude. It looks like it was found on the back of a Trapper Keeper somewhere. Trapper Keeper, kids. What we used to write, I'm not going to explain. Takedown over here. There's 35 seconds left to go, man. We got to let go. Yes. Where were those elbows just a few minutes before? You need to drag him back down. Do not let him go over to the cage. Literally drag that man back down to the mat, because this is, I don't want to say you're going to lose, but look at this. Round 9 significant strikes. You have 10-9. These motherfuckers coming in with a Granby. Don't even try and triangle me right now. I'm not in that mood. No thank you, sir. That's a weird-ass fight. Sure. Okay. How do you have it scored? Would love to hear it. Would love to see it. Talk to me in the comment sections. That was fucking... My brain is so weirded out by all of that. Bender Martial Arts, you're back. It's good to see you. It has been a while. And by a while, I mean like a week or so. Either way, it is a pleasure to have you back. I enjoy seeing you here. I am so pleased that we have so many of y'all joining us in for that. All right, everybody. It is a good night for grappling and for mixed martial arts action. My name is Rafa Spars. I host many different shows. I see a 29-28 for Giles. I gotta agree with that, man. I just don't see how it works. Look at this. Good sir. No, you're a good sir. Don't come in here telling me I'm a good sir. You're a good sir. Take that. Bender. Coming to us from the... Was it cold out this way right now? Because it was raining on us all this week, and I felt like I did that to myself this week. We were outside. Either way, I'm appreciating the energy y'all are bringing to the show tonight. It has been a blast thus far in. All right, we're about to get to the official decision here in just a second. I am about to relay that and potentially give you just a little bit of a recap of what I'm seeing over here. But Bruce, with the official call right now. All three judges with 29-28. And Giles is your winner. Yo, bro, I get it, bro. That is why you don't go chasing knee bars and heel hooks and not getting the finish. They are fun to do in jiu-jitsu. But when the dude can still rack up strikes on your face, it's a high risk, low reward sort of situation. Believe me, I would have loved to see you get a fucking finish with a knee bar. You had a good mechanic to it. You know how to do it. It just, Giles was just in the right spots where he needed to be to get out of it. It sucks, but I don't disagree with this decision. So now we're going to hear Trevor go on over to give an interview. Unfortunately, there is no finish here, so they don't get a toast. And especially when you can't actually do a heel hook. Well, okay, first of all, I feel like you're attacking me. Okay? Because those words, they cut dear to my heart. No, I mean, heel hooks are great. It's just, bro, heel hooks aren't something you can fuck around with in a fight. Like, you better know how to do it. You better have a high proficiency at being able to pull it off. But looking at all of these strikes, these were the significant strikes of the fight. So looking at this, Trevor Giles, 32-15, 10-6, 2-57. That's kind of notable. So props to you for those. And the submission attempts, and if you're saying 2 on those submission attempts, it's like one really long leg lock chain, if we're being honest. But sure. So Felder's asking Trevin, hey, listen, dude. And he, it was a back and forth fight. And he just asked Trevin, how'd you feel? And he goes, whenever it's a close fight, you're never too certain. So he said he landed as much damage as possible. I was referring to the fight. Fairly sure you have heel hooked me. Oh, no. Fuck, right. I have. I know. I'm just messing with you. I have to cut these guys some slack to show it is not the world's easiest thing to do to get a heel hook in the UFC. It's possible. And I actually think the next generation of fighters are going to be very adept at it because they have to be. Having said that, it's my preference to please finish those. Because not only is it good business for us, but then I get to interview you, hopefully, because I want to ask you how you did it and how you were able to accomplish it. But yes, I know what you were referring to. I was just making a joke. And I think Felder's now asking, he was forcing you to grapple with you. How did that make you feel? And he said, yeah, he's a big guy, and he just wanted to be dangerous enough in those bad spots. And he said he had a lot of confidence that he wasn't getting submitted on the ground. It says catch wrestling. I like that. Absolutely, dude. Catch wrestling is the place to be, bro. So now they're talking about him taking the fight on short notice. Cannot officially give that man a cheers. But you know who I can give a cheers? Those of you who are sharing this. And I'm going to start with friend of the show, one G Baby. G Baby, thank you so much for the very, very wonderful share. We appreciate you loving what we do over here. I just want to give you the recognition that you deserve as being one of the first people to legalize weed. Yes, that's right. You're one of the first people to legalize weed in Colorado, which I know sounds like a open and shut case, but you did it in Colorado, Puerto Rico. Not an actual place, but cheers to you. All right. Yes. So, how do you get one of those? How do you get a cheers? How do you get a toast on the show? Give us a like and a share on Facebook. Give us a subscription on YouTube. Or, and hear me out here, give us a screenshot on your stories and tell people to come watch us at Grappling Hour or Verbal Tap Cast on our Instagram. That's it. That's as easy as it is. And then I'll give you a toast, just like we do those fighters who get finishes within regulation. And by the way, speaking of some variation of catch wrestling, it was only now that I realized my wife was talking about how I got a bruise today. And I was like, what bruise? And she kept being like, are you blind? Do you not see the bruise? And I was like, no, I don't. I don't look at myself like this. But I clearly see that. That is from grappling. That is intense. Did not know that was there. News to me. But it is funny. I mean, when you come home and you don't know that you have marks on your face or your body and you just go, where did that come from? Like, when I watch Memento now and I see a dude with tattoos that's like, how did this happen? Relatable. Just take out the tattoos and the murder-ish, and you have all of our lives in grappling. But either way, this dude, you know what the worst part is? The people who are grabbing this, I think what they're doing is they're just putting their thumb. I think I know who did this. I think I can tell. I think this is fucking Sven's fault. I'm a fucking murk Sven the next time we roll. You know, I want to take a picture of this. I'm going to send it to him and be like, look at what you did. I hope you feel bad. This didn't result in a submission. You did this for nothing. Boof. Anyway, it is a pleasure to host you. I love having y'all here. It is a great night for fighting. I'm excited about this Kevin Holland fight. I think I'm leaning Holland. I don't know where you guys are at on this one. Please tell me if you have a different variation or belief as to who will win the main event. We still have a lot more fights to get through this evening. Let's go ahead and go on what is going next. It looks like they're stalling, so I suppose we have some time for discussion. And it says, inevitably, anytime we're going to a wedding or anything to look nice for, a black eye or a scratch or a gi burn on the face 100% of the time to the wife's charge. Let me tell you, dude, when I got married, my wife had one rule, which was, listen, you can train for as long as you need to. And I did up until the final day. Like, we're talking the day before we got married, I was training. But my wife put the wrath, the fear of God into basically everybody on the roster by saying, do not let him come to this wedding with a scratch on his face or I will murder you. And I showed up perfectly fine. I will tell you this, though. There was one guy 6 weeks out who, when we were rolling, and this is years ago, kids, so we're talking 6 years ago. We're not like right now where the IBJJF says, hey, listen, if you're a brown belt, why don't you go ahead, go nuts, heel hook all you want in the gi. We're talking about 6 years ago where a dude who got so mad he couldn't straight ankle me legitimately heel hooked me in the gi during an open mat when I was a white belt. I think I was still a white belt at this time. To the point where I was mad because I was like, dude, you're heel hooking me here. My knee kind of hurts a little bit. And I have to be able to dance on this motherfucker at my wedding. People are expecting this. If I'm not able to dance at my wedding, people will be disappointed. And you will have effectively ruined my wedding. So I had to like nurse it. I didn't get to train as much, which BT Dubs does get you in the shape you need to be so you can fit your way into the suit that you get married in. So that dude didn't just fuck me up for no reason. He was a dick. And as a result of that, I had to like carefully watch the way I was like both training and like getting ready for this wedding. So no, my face was fine. But for a couple weeks, I was a little nervous on if I could hit a good break dance at my wedding. Fortunately, I burned it down. That's what happens. You get me there, get me a crowd of people, you're going to get a performance, and it's going to be epic, and it's going to be good. And it was. So anyway, but yes, Bender Martial Arts, I know the feeling. I know how much it sucks. It's crazy, man. But you're different. You are a owner of a gym. When you are owner of a gym, it's gonna happen. And I feel like you get a little bit more leeway. I am mostly a civilian. I am a host. I will tell you, though, I do get some street cred when that shit happens. But I don't think I'm going to get too much street cred for this. This just looked like I left, like, something on and I burned myself. This is not street cred. This is just like, damn, Ralph, do you have something wrong with your skin now? This is so fucking annoying. Anyway. So I'm going to have to watch that the next time I roll. It's just so funny. Talk to me, people. Throw me with your questions, comments, concerns, hints, allegations, all of that good stuff. I just saw a tag over on this way. Rage, giving us some love. I believe that means you're going to get a toast here in a second. I will take care of that in just a moment. And it says, I like Grant Dawson. I don't know anything about who he's fighting. Let's discover that together, my friend. Grant Dawson is fighting today a gentleman by the name of Leonardo Santos. Leonardo Santos comes to us from fighting at, wait for it, competed for World Victory Road and Bama. He was also the winner of the Ultimate Fighter Brazil Dos in the welterweight tournament. His last wins were back at UFC 251, back at Abu Dhabi. And that was back on July 12th, and he had a unanimous decision win over Roman Bogatov. He also has wins over Stevie Ray, Adriano Martinez, Kevin Lee. That's a pretty notable one. That's the one I remember back at UFC 194. But look at this. The last 4 fights were 2020, 2019, 2016, and 2015. So this dude has definitely spaced them out. He also has a submission win over Anthony Rocco Martin and a decision win over Efrain Esquardo. So if you look at his record, he is coming in today with an 18-3-1 record. His opponent, however, won Grant Dawson, who you are going for right now, coming out from the Nebraska, 16-1. That is a very solid record. He was also fighting at the Abu Dhabi card back in July, or the series that they put out that way. He has wins over Derek Minner. He has a rear naked choke win over him, which BT dubs, Derek, friend of the show. And he also has a win over Julian Arosa, a decision victory win. But he has fought out at the Kansas City Fighting Alliance and VFC 52. Interesting. I like Grant Dawson too. But I do wonder what those layoffs do. Especially for Leonardo Santos. I don't know. Oh, that's right. That was the UFC 251. Bogatov was deducted 2 points after round 3 after multiple illegal infractions. Now I remember that shit. Holy shit. We watched so many fights. Leonardo Santos is 41? I thought I read somebody was breaking the record for the oldest fighter in the UFC roster. I don't know if that is him, but it would sound like a likely candidate. Bro, what are you doing still fighting at 41? Like, for serious, you don't need to. What is up, Scotty? What is up, Zilly Billies? Is that how you say your name? Zilly Bills? It's a crazy name. Either way, I like it. Rage, I'm not going to forget your cheers. I'll get to you on a minute. But I want to make sure we acknowledge this next fight coming up. I also have to do, actually, now that I think about it, I have to do Woods' cheers is next. And he actually shared us on both the Twitter and on the Facebook. So he's going to need 2 cheerses. I'll take care of those shortly. Bro, I'm not 41, but like I'm not short of that too far. I don't want to be fighting at 41. I don't even want to be fighting at what I am now, which is 38. And I look good for 38. Thank you. What's up, Quentin? How you doing? Yo, Quentin, you know it's almost WWE BJJ week. I better see something from you, motherfucker. But it's good to see you, man. Hopefully you were doing well. All right. Well, Rage is going for the Nebraska kid. I feel I have to go for Santos just for age appropriateness. Though I don't love the fact that when you're 41, you're fighting in the UFC and you're not like Randy Couture. And even then, that was a different time, dude. I thought even then, as a kid, I went to go see that when I was in college. I went to go see that fight. Nice kick there by Dawson. Says pretty well, and yeah, I will do something. Appreciate you, man. I love hearing that. Nice outside kick by Santos. Yeah, I just don't get it, dude. By your 30s, your body is completely changing. Nice shoot in by Dawson. Didn't really set it up amazingly. And as a result, Santos doesn't even need to stuff it. Just kind of swats him away. Tries to go for an uppercut. Doesn't really connect much with it. Meanwhile, Dawson comes in with a little bit of a teep kick. Gets a few to the face as a result of it. Doesn't really stagger him too hard. A nice little club and dig here from that. Grant having issues with that range. Absolutely, dude. Not only does he have the range, but he has the old person's range, which means you've lived with that range for so long. You know what it is. Nice work here. 350 left to go. Looks like he likes to duck his head and charge in, almost at an angle every time he's doing that. I've got you, bro. I know what you meant, range. Another kick there to the lead leg by Santos. Santos coming in with the black trunks, Dawson with the blue. Be very interesting to see what happens when the UFC goes to Venom very soon. Nice. Santos read that one very well. Stepped out of the way, just swiped over it. Didn't really even have to connect too hard with Dawson's face. Just kind of let him know, like, yo, bro, I can easily sidestep some of these. Ooh, look at that, Dawson. Coming in, he has kind of a single-ish. And if he doesn't have it, he is willing to put in the work to try and make it happen. Putting in some head pressure here. He's going to probably try and pick him up. Nebraska strong. God damn it. The corn is strong with this motherfucker right now. Yes, he has 2 underhooks here, pushing up against the cage. This could be very problematic for Santos. Dawson very nicely electing for a couple knees here. Looks like he's trying to feel on the inside or outside to try and get a trip here. Lots of work. Yes, indeed. 2:27 left to go in this round. That's a lot of time to be put up against the cage with a guy who probably is going to out-wrestle the shit out of you. He's trying to hook this leg. You can see him almost trying to get there. And it says takedown defense has been 4 for 4. I don't know, man. Anytime you get that overhead slam, even if it doesn't finish, I am nervous. This dude is very comfortable with his ability to move and maneuver you with that control. And it looks devastating. What's up, Jacob Harmon? Speaking of wrestling, Jesus. Ask and they shall come. Jacob, it's been a good while since we've chat. I've hoped that you have been in good spirits, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Speaking of which, so much wrestling going on over this weekend. 136, nice knee to the midsection here. Oh, and judo does beat wrestling for just a half second, but Jesus Christ, if Dawson doesn't re-guard like a motherfucker, I don't know what to say. He very quickly gets him into a guard, inches his way back on over to the cage, knows he needs it to try and prop himself up. He is acting very quickly here. I won't be surprised if he does bring in some of those elbows, which he is. So I think his team's telling him, like, yo, be very careful about where you're elbowing, unlike some coaches. Just saying. Minute left to go in round number 1. And Dawson is right back at work, seeing if maybe he can make something happen here. But that's a very good test for Santos, who really legitimately knew how to control his base enough to get that really, really well-timed slam. But we learned a little bit here. We learned that Santos isn't just going to be taken down willy-nilly. And you also learned that Dawson has a really good re-guard game. So not only does he have some solid understanding of wrestling and some solid entries on some of these takedowns that he's been attempting, but even there, he looked really solid, man. Woo! 22 seconds left to go. And you see there's a cut on the back. Looks like maybe the top of the ear, somewhere on the head. on the right-hand region. And almost a trip here by Santos, but it looks like we will expire on the time for round number 1. And that's a very interesting beginning to this fight. I like the stutter step there by the ref, by the way. I don't want to jump in too much. You boys keep fighting. Cutman has work to do. Yes, he does. Especially when it seemed like Santos kind of in that moment knew to start kind of hitting in that general region of the head. He's like, oh, is this bleeding? Let's see if we can make this rain right now. Either way. Earlier. Woo! What a day, kids. Let me know who you thought won that first round. I mean, I think you almost have to go with Dawson. Yeah, although that one trip was really nice from Santos. That's a weird-ass round. I'd also like to see the strike numbers on that one. Either way, appreciate it. Aw, that's really nice. Yeah, I'd love that. That would be great. Well, kids, very close round. I think we're all on the same note here. TwitchTV.UFC. What the fuck do you see at TwitchTV.UFC? I can't go there. I'm busy doing this. 450 on my clock. Hopefully we're in the same region. Nice overhand right there by Dawson. Santos swing and a miss over on his counter here. Nothing too much happening just at the moment. Both gentlemen maybe being a little bit more cautious here. Santos goes for another kick here. What is up, Liam Walker? New? That's like what happens. That's like how I name my documents on MS Word when I go, it's the same copy. New, draft 1, final copy, final for real copy. Oof, both trips by weird ass moments in that. I see a note here on the screen that said 10-9 for, I think what they were arguing was almost Dawson on that. That's fine. That looping overhand keeps landing. I was just about to comment on that. And I think it's probably because Santos is maybe getting a little tired, 41. He's also probably still in trying to set up something himself, forgetting that has been something. Oh, no. No. Okay. I guess it's just because we had so much bad luck in that last go. Yeah. Yeah, the toes got all the way up in that one. Cup check indeed. He's 41. Leave him alone, dude. He's lucky he's in there. You try and get me at 41. I'm going to tell you, bro. Like, no. What the hell am I doing fighting 27-year-olds? What is this, the back of a B-dubs? I will tell you, there's still nothing quite like the angles that they show on TV whenever somebody has to get the feelings back in the lower section of the body. Because every time it's always that look right there, and they go, yeah, this is national television here, people. So, Rage, if I'm you, I'm probably thinking this Dawson kid wants to go with that overhand right. I think he's going to try. Not even hiding it at this point. I think he knows it's been good to him. What is up, Dark Matter? BJJ. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Nice kick there. Good exchange between the two gents. And Santos just kind of using that jab to see if he can touch the face. Maybe what he's trying to set up here. Oh, on that last one, though, Santos felt that leg kick. I don't know how I love these jabs to the body, though. If you're a Santos, it exposes your face in a way that I think is real bad for this kid. And Dawson reading it very nicely. Double underhooks here. Up against the cage once again. Santos has proved he's got good balance. So we'll see what he does from here. Dawson comes up, tries to raise in a few of these knees. He tried to connect on that head. Is inside trip ready and willing to go here? That's the one that worries me more than any of the takedowns, though, for Dawson, because Santos proved he almost had that judo-like sensibility of reversing it the last time. If anything, I would love to see Dawson maybe continue to run that pipe, get that single again. That one's always wild to me. I love when people slap the face, just to kind of get in a few more of those significant strikes, being like, does this work? That should be it. Like, these are significant, right? Speaking of which, tomorrow we're doing another one of these for Combat Jiu-Jitsu. Don't forget, come see us. We're going to make fun of our friends. They're going to be competing. It'll be great. Or it won't. Who knows? Speaking of which, member of the heel stable himself, Kevin Ross, joining us in the process of watching these two gents slap one another as Dawson tries to drag him down, bringing all the power of the Midwest to help him try and get this takedown, which is still proven unsuccessful. At this point, mostly just leaning and putting in the pressure on the face. And yet, Santos still hasn't really been taken down here. And the referee calling for a break sets him back into the middle of the octagon, which could be a blessing for Santos. And now, eek, no. Dawson tried to get in a shot, did not get any part of it. Santos now coming in on the back. 4-4-4 for life. Absolutely. I should really read that the next time I see it as the actual remixed version. As a kid, I used to be able to do that perfectly. You know when you lose an impression, you go, I don't know where that is anymore. I used to be able to do that sound effect. Bad shot indeed. But also not just a bad shot, but like the baddest time to have a bad shot. Like that let that dude, oh, you know, I wouldn't have put money on that spinning back kick like that. Okay. Smoke him if you got him. Spinny. Absolutely. That was weird. But, you know, I was not going to be confident about that kid doing that. But it connected. So good for him. All right. Who do you guys have on that one? Do you feel the kid took that one, or do you feel the old man went there? Speaking of old man, Kevin, do you understand that that kid that's in here is fighting a 41-year-old man? I get that these Brazilians age pretty nicely, but good Lord, 41. No, thank you. It's essentially the age difference between me and Milton. Like, that's unnecessary. I ain't trying to fight that kid. I'll DDT the shit out of him, but I ain't trying to fight him. That's not necessary. All right. Third final round coming up right now. Let us see how this plays out. Santos looking ready. Also probably has a buffet to get to. And here we go. Appreciate y'all for watching. My name's Rafa Esparza. You better be watching and liking us on all the different channels. I'll tell you what I won't be doing at 41. Fuck all that. I know, dude. Like, you know, most people will say, like, what wrong decisions did you make that led you to fighting? I think if that's the thing people say, what wrong decisions have you made in your life to still be fighting at 41? That's why every time they kept saying, like, GSP needs to fight Khabib, I'm like, no, he doesn't. Nope. And GSP is a fucking athletic freak. I am not. He's on that single. He tried to block it out. Does not get it. Damn, Santos. Nice sprawl here. Killing the momentum. Ooh. It'll be interesting to see how this plays all the way out. Some elbow. I was going to say some elbows because I thought he might throw more than one, but not the case here. One elbow. And Dawson continuing to go so on that single leg here, which, by the way, was my recommendation in the earlier round. I don't know how much even my recommendation is going to pay off here. But takedown defense, 10 for 10. Damn, y'all. I am going to give that guy some props. And let me see here. Apparently, James Krause gave some brutally honest coaching in the corner for... There's nothing quite like berating your guy and being like, yo, you fucking suck, but you want some water? I'll get you some water. You want some num-nums? I'll get you some food. What's up, Ground Control 2.0? I will tell you, though, I agree with the sentiment of that. The kid does have a takedown finally. So that does help. I would tell you, striking, right on the coaching. Believe that's the truth. Especially when he does tell him, I don't know how this thing's being scored. Again, right on that one, too. It's the weird vibe, though, that you're just kind of like, yeah, dude, you're not wrong on these calls. It says, dude is 41 and has a loss since 2010. Insane. Absolutely, dude. And not only has he not lost since 2010, but he hasn't had a ton of fights in the meantime. Let me see. I think they've been spaced out. We were talking about this earlier. But yeah, I mean, that's not true. 10 fights. About 11 fights in that time. So he's like fighting at about a year pace right now. Good for him, man. I wish that was the case for myself or just anybody else to have that kind of consistent thing. Like, this dude gets up once every year to just go, should I mow the fucking lawn or should I fight today? I'll fight later this month. It's fine. I still got a whole year to fight. It's good. But Nebraska doing pretty well. I mean, I think this is going to be enough for him to weirdly win this fight. And I will tell you this from experience, when you just kind of get old people on their back, it's hard to get up. That's it. Grant got to do more damage. Yes, he does. But in this weird-ass fight where there wasn't a ton of damage really implemented, per se, I think he might have enough. I think he might be able to pick up a decision here. And with 40 seconds left to go, even if these things aren't significant strikes, they're still decent enough here. But look at this. Dawson, 25-3 in this round. And then the previous round, Santos, 32-34. Yeah, Krause is not fucking around when he says he needs to get a finish here, though. Yeah, this is possibly going to get really weird. But there is a attempt at going from half guard. Butterfly hooks here. I see a huge grin on the face. Woo! Oh! Oh! Well, kids, that's why you don't go for heel hooks. Unless you can finish them. To his credit, he was tired. He's 41. Just remember that. Before you celebrate, not to take anything away from that good knockout, especially with just seconds to go, but sometimes when you're old, you get sleepy and you take a nap. He just chose the wrong time to take the nap. And to Nebraska's credit over here, his coach tells him, you better fucking get a finish. And he did. And look, bro, this is not the time to go for your best X-guard sweeps. This is not the time to go for the reap. Like, you gotta, no. God damn it, Jiu-Jitsu. I think the worst part is the mouth guard coming out and bouncing out of the mouth. Kid earned it. I have nothing to take away from him. Good for him. He found a way to win. I will like to see the scorecards when they release that later. Obviously, The young man is very overcome with emotion. Good for him. The question I have here in the chat is he dead? Well, I don't know. I think we need some more information there. We'll come back to it. We're just not going to protect ourselves. Guy throwing hammers and he's just there like, this is fine. Bro, I don't know what to tell you, man. The heel hook from that Reap is it's a white whale, man. People end up chasing that shit all the time. X-Guard sweep. Is that Marvel comic? I wish, bro. It's not even a really good X-Guard, honestly. It's more of that Reap kind of going over, and it looked like he was trying to space out the legs where when you do hit that, you kind of want to force them into a roll. Nebraska did not look like he was going to go into a roll. That is one way that you prevent yourself from getting heel hooked in those positions. Fortunately, when I'm rolling with people, I don't have to deal with that. So, I get it. But yes, Dawson Grant. Oof. It says Marcelo shaking his head. I know, dude. I think ESPN just put a note that said, how did he generate power from there? He was above him, dude. Like, what the fuck do you mean? How did he generate power from there? Who's writing this shit? God damn it. Yep, Santos, he is alive. We can say that much. LA2 LB, he is alive. He's still on the stool, which I would be too, because rest. Got to get that man some good vitamin D. Got to get him out and make sure that he's going to eat well. Maybe mush up his food a little bit this week. He's fine. I actually do want to hear this kid's interview. I do want to see what the official time they put on this one is as well. But that's a pretty exciting way to end that fight. So I'm going to take it. And I was not right on the fight pick. I was going for the old dude because he's my age. Not really. I'm actually younger than that. But yes, the official time on that is round 3, 4:59. That is fucking wild. And yo, I'll put that up there, dude, on one of my favorite random ass moments when a fight is about to end. And it says standing up, punching down on the chin button. How much power do you need? I don't know, ESPN.com. Sometimes when ESPN, the Twitter, or their social media team, I actually know a couple of guys who work it, so I know who I'm complaining to. But still, I'm going to send that motherfucker a note that's just like, bro, I know you're trying to put up some clickbait headlines, but could you not? 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the mouthpiece still. And good for him, man. How much power do you need? That's going to stay with me, though, Rage. I don't know, man. I like how they're acting like, oh, he needs to summon the power of Zeus to get a good knockout. Power range from there. So, Felder's asking him the softball question I asked. How did it feel? Think he's making his case for 50K. The kid goes now to 17-1. He is on a 8-fight win streak in the UFC. Oh, 8-fight win streak. This is his UFC lightweight debut. My apologies. And now Felder's going to do the honors of just replaying the finish for the kid. We also have to do a toast for him. He's going to talk about the takedown here. Woo! And he said he saw he was trying to get his leg. And he said, I better try and solidify this. And he said, this is it. I know I'm going to get this. He says he's got a lot to work on. Hey, I appreciate that. That's some nice honesty there. But he is now saying quite definitively he does deserve the 50K. I don't disagree with that. And they're asking about the cut. All right, we're good here. Let's do the cheers to that young man. This cheers goes on out to one Grant Dawson. Grant, nobody saw that one coming, dude. And more importantly, way to find the finish. I know your coach was yelling at you to get a finish. You did it. I think that alone is indicative of, hey man, give this guy not only 50K, but maybe another exciting fight. So cheers to you, bud. Please don't ever do that to me. If I try to heel hook you, please, 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 please don't try and hit me in the face. That's all. Thank you. Appreciate you, kid. All right. How do you get one of those? It's pretty simple. Give us a like and a share over on your Facebook. Give us a subscription over on YouTube, or just added this week, you can start tagging us on your Instagram stories. Tell people to come watch us, and on Instagram stories, go and send them our way over at Verbal Tap Cast. And that's it. You do that, we give you a toast just like we did this kid. And I don't even know that kid. I know most of you, and I'm more than happy to say nice things about most of you. Not all of you, but most of you. And speaking of which, we need to do a toast to Adam Woods. Adam Woods is coming in right here. Great call-outs, absolutely. So this toast goes on out to friend of the show, one Adam Woods, according to Woods, otherwise known as one of the other few people who does this kind of interview, kind of journalist-ish thing. I would tell you this, Adam Woods not only does that, but he is one of the rare specimen to have told the person walking out as RoboCop at a WCW event, this is going to go over well. And we have him to thank for that gift. And we thank you, because sometimes I forget that RoboCop and Sting were friends in WCW. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Cheers to you, bud. What is up, El Matt? Banez? I don't know how to say that name. That's a weird-ass fucking name. Either way, appreciate you being here. All you have to do, like and share, subscription, or share this on your Instagram. We'll give you a toast. And I'll create a toast specifically for you. It won't be the same one. We always do a different toast for the friends who give us the love, the appreciation, all that sort of stuff. I very much appreciate y'all for watching tonight. We're going to keep this party going. We're here all night. We still have, I think, what is this? 6 more fights left to go. This is going to be the final fight on the prelim card. We take a short break, we come back, and then we do the main card all the way through. You know how we do this by now. We've been doing it for a bit. And if I can recall, I think now we're almost on a year straight of doing these things. I think we've only missed one UFC card, and that's because they put it on a Wednesday at 6 a.m. And I love doing these, but come on, y'all. I got a job. And more importantly, we brought in guests. I think tomorrow we're going to have a panel for the Combat Jiu-Jitsu event that is happening on your UFC Fight Pass that starts at 3 p.m. Best Coast time. So please be here for that. We'll have some friends joining us. We'll talk some shit about people that we know. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, that could happen. Maybe not the hammer fist, but there are slaps allowed in combat jiu-jitsu. So somebody going for a heel hook might get the shit slapped out of them. Literally. So look out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I always appreciate having you guys join us, talking some shit with us. So while we're waiting, feel free to throw me your questions. I will answer them as best I can, or I will mock you. It really just depends on what I'm feeling like at the moment. I saw a note here that just says, who calls out Clay Guida? Bro, what else is Clay Guida doing? Like, legitimately, what else is going on with Clay Guida? At this point, why not? And if you grew up wanting to fight and you like fighting, chances are you probably like Clay Guida. So why not just call him out? I would if I was a fighter. I'm not even a fighter, though. So can't give you that full sort of note there. Winning fights, shockingly. Yes, absolutely. I still think to myself, like, how is he still there? And yet, dude, I've had the honor of interviewing Clay. He's just a very nice, fun person to rally behind. You know, is what it is. Oh, shit, that's where I recognized him from. Motherfucker, Leonardo Santos is an Abu Dhabi World Championship bronze medalist. He's also a World Jiu-Jitsu Championship medalist in both silver and bronze. Yeah, I thought I recognized his name for years, but again, because he's 41, I was like, he couldn't possibly be fighting still. And even though I saw him that whole time, I wasn't like, oh, right, that guy. God damn, dude. In fact, if I remember correctly, Clay Guida, the last fight you're talking about that he won, which I guess was kind of fun to see, him winning over Michael Johnson, who really... God damn, Michael Johnson should have won. Clay Guida has 56 fights on his MMA resume. He has losses to Bobby Green, Jim Miller, and Charles Oliveira, but wins over BJ Penn. Can you really call that a win, though? I will say when they matched those two up, I at least thought, let's... The fact that BJ Penn fought in a year that is marked 2019 still blows my fucking mind. Like, I still don't wrap my head around the fact that BJ Penn fought in 2019. I still don't know how that happens. And that's not to even include the BJ Penn fights out in parking lots or in different Hawaiian bars. That's maybe the next thing we need to brand. Maybe that's what we need to look into doing. We need to look into doing the ultimate bar fighting championship. That's what we should do with the retired guys, is get them together and just be like, yo, what you guys doing? You want to go behind a B-dubs and settle some shit? It says some random guy on the streets of Hawaii has a win over BJ Penn. I know, that shit bugs me, dude. And it's hard for the children to really live in a world where they maybe understand the BJ Penn that we all grew up with, who was a bad motherfucker, who did multiple weight classes, who GSP was growing up thinking he was one of the GOATs way back when, who just kept fighting, and all of us kept thinking, like, please don't. Like, we don't need you. We love you. We appreciate you. And I worry for that guy, but I hope he's all right. Anyway. Oh, God. Don't look at BJ Penn's fight profile, by the way. It's a good reminder. This motherfucker has losses going all the way back to 2011. And a draw back in 2011. His last win was a KO over Matt Hughes, and that was back in November 2010. So... no, that one sucks, dude. That just sucks to see. Meanwhile, in the cage right now, Chioson and Renault. But for a split second, I thought it said Keanu. And I was like, yo, Keanu fighting in this one? I don't see him in there. But Renault and Chioson right now. Renault in the black. Chioson in the white. With the frosted on the top of the hair here. And I don't know that you can't really call that, like, dudes have a man bun. What happens when there's like a little tip there? I don't know what the females call that one. Especially when they're in the process of trying to throw some nice right hooks here. I got 3:46 on my clock. Hopefully you were somewhere in the same vicinity. Good kick there, but man, looking at the way Chioson is looking every single time that Renault throws a strike, she just literally stands her grounds and just thinks like, yo, I'm going to come in with a hook right now. And I want to knock the shit out of this young lady. I have a note here from LA2LB. Why don't you dye your hair? Oh, I don't think you want that. My head is too big. It is a very strange shape. So the more you call attention to how strange of a shape it is, I think the more we drive away viewers, if I'm being honest. Plus, like, yo, dude, I grew up with, like, the era of when, like, Wesley Snipes got to wear a different hair. Right now, we grow up with Izzy Adesanya, who comes in with different hair. I can't pull off that shit. That's not happening for me. It's nice to dream it, nice to think it. It's not happening. Meanwhile, I forgot to tell you guys what I am drinking this evening. Today's beer of choice is from Highland Park Brewery in Los Angeles, California, and it is a West Coast style Pilsner with Mosaic hops, 5.8 BAC, and it is a Timbo Pils, and so far, not bad. It's been a nice little way to start off the evening. Compliments of our good friends over at Hop Merchants. Love those folks. So that is my local brewery out this way. My local bar. Love supporting them. Great beers. Great people. Love, love, love those people. All right. 2 minutes left to go in round number one. Over on the screens, it says, have you ever drank in an alley? Yeah, kid, I went to college. That's all you ever do. Have you ever drank in an alley? This motherfucker trying to ask if I'm homeless. Like, did you ever drink in an alley with a brown bag? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Especially if you ever do the drunk home shuffle after a very nice night out on town. Which, by the way, those are fun days. I miss those people. Very good bars out in Illinois and Kentucky I used to frequent. Such good times. Woo! Right now you got Felder giving some compliments to the head kick attempts. And also giving credit to the long reach differentium that's happening here. All right, 56 seconds left to go in this fight. So this is going to be the last fight of the prelims. As we mentioned earlier, we'll take a short break. We'll come back for the main card. We have lots to talk about tonight. We still haven't even touched Khabib retiring. We still haven't even touched Ben Askren and Paul Brother. Question mark. I don't know which one's which, honestly. They're the same thing to me. Both two dumb white kids. And all these other notes that I've been given here tonight from friends, fans asking us some questions, so we will address them bit by bit throughout the evening. Nice reversal here over by Renault, though. Renault might be able to drag her down, but there's not going to be a ton of time to really do anything with it. Yep, 10 seconds left to go, and Chison is literally just trying to get her balance and maintain it with just a few seconds left to go. 2, 1, and that'll expire the first round. Not bad. Tell me how you scored it. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're thinking. Don't tell me how you're feeling. I really don't care. It's not my department. I still love it. We're drinking in an alley. I probably drank in a lot of alleys. And it says, Volk Ortega. Did Ortega have a chance? I'd like to think so. The reality of that is a very different question, though. I think we all root for Brian Ortega. He's a man of Modelo stature. He's a dude that probably has banged Holly Berry. He's a good guy, man. It's a tough fight, man. I didn't know how that fight was going to 100% go, but I was rooting for him. I'd like to see him do well, but Volk, dude, he's beast. And it's not just the way that Volk wins, it's the very, very precise way that Volkanovski does win. But unfortunately, I believe either he or his camp withdrawing due to COVID, and that is unfortunate. I look forward to when they reschedule that one, but there have been so many goddamn reschedules, and speaking of which, they are going to work right now back in the octagon. Ooh! There's a stagger step right now. Look at that. They're talking about how Renault is hurt. Chiasson is... I thought for a second she wasn't going to waste any time, but there is a little bit of a clinch. But this is maybe giving Renault some small time to recover here. She has one very, very loose underhook here. And look at her nose. She is definitely bleeding right now. They did note on the scorecards on the screen that was a 10-9 for Renault and a 10-9 for Chiasson. So they are saying, at least on the screens that they're showing here, it is a close fight. Now bringing her back on out to the center of the cage. The two of them are just trying to figure out who is going to have the more positional dominance in this clinch. And they still go to the other side of the cage. It is funny to see the Monster Energy drink logos after the whole Mons Mole Camp bullshit thing that's happening now. I like that all these people step forward. Like, this was the UFC's version of a Me Too, where they're like, I also have been improperly treated by Hans Molkamp. He didn't sponsor me enough. Feels good to say that. Yeah. He took advantage of me. With pictures. At least that's what it's kind of looked like. At least from my perspective. Y'all might have different ones. Either way. Speaking of which, 3 minutes now left to go. Round number dos. Chiasson started the round really, really aggressively. And you are seeing the effects of it as Renault's nose is just bleeding fountain-like all over. And Chiasson is not letting up on the pressure. And it does look like it is having some effect over on Renault. But it's almost like she's just trying to make sure she gets this round in her pocket. Few more knees, and it says, could Kayla Harrison cut to 35? I don't know that she would look good at 135. Maybe she would. What the fuck do I know? Maybe she would look good. I just don't know that it is the smartest of choices. And it sucks because 45 divisions for women, UFC, I think, is probably the best example of that. They're tough. They're tough to figure out opponents for. And you think to yourself, why not just bring her here and just have her do the thing? UFC needs 145ers. Oh, Chiasson is now on the hunt, and Renault is coming in with a few strikes just to kind of keep herself defensively okay. But this is looking like Chiasson is going hunting at this point. What's up, Just Driftin'? Thanks for welcoming yourself to the show. We appreciate you. Right now, looking at the total strikes, which tell you a very strange story with Renault at 39 and Chiasson over at 39 as well. But if you look at the result of the body on Renault, not all strikes are exactly the same. One of these days, I'm going to get a counter on this show that just literally counts the amount of insignificant strikes. I think people do pretty well on how many strikes are significant. I think the idea of counting how many are like, that strike is insignificant does not matter to me. 59 seconds left in the second round right now. Good Lord. Nice time for a takedown here. And now Renault is on top. Woo. Although Chiasson is now going for maybe her own heel hook here. What is up, Francois LeBlanc? Good little reversal there. And I think Chiasson is looking up at the screen to see how much time she has. That's a good, opportune reversal there. "13 seconds left to go in this round, and I think, even though it's supposed to be close, this is still pretty, I think, securely Chiasson's round, though. I'm not going to disrespect the attempt at an omoplata there. Much love for that. The note says, are you going to watch Fastlane tomorrow? I will probably have it on in the background, but tomorrow is a combat jiu-jitsu day, so we do another one of these tomorrow. I don't usually think I stick around for those events. Yeah, but I'll watch it. I always like to see what's going on the road to WrestleMania. And plus, it's usually like one of the last times we see inspiration before WWE BJJ week. Because we have some folks who send us in questions for WWE BJJ week, like, hey, do you have a move for me? Or do you have an idea or a storyline or a suggestion? And sometimes I send them out to the people and I say, here are the ideas. And I think it's always amazing to see what the turnaround is. Because when they send me the videos and they say, here's what we thought once you gave us the idea, or here's how we executed it, it's actually a really cool element of it. Getting to see what people do as their own spins on them always give me a good laugh. So I think I'll watch it. But, woo, Renault with a little bit of a knockdown there. Nice. And Chiasson, I think that Chiasson's anger is something that I like when she just channels it properly. So they're talking a little bit. I think they're trying to figure out the score. And Bisping's doing a little bit of MMA math in terms of, all right, so she gets a takedown. That didn't have too much damage. But how do you score this? It could be close, but I think that Chiasson definitely won round number 2. So it could very well be that she is winning this fight all around. But, you know, judges be crazy. How to get started in pro wrestling and SoCal advice. Go to Santino Bros. Santino Brothers have produced some amazing, spectacular people. I think their instruction looks pretty dope. If I had ever wanted to do it, I probably would have gone there, man. So that's a Nice little tip. I think they're out in Gardena, if I'm correct. So don't quote me on that one. Just Google it. I think they're mentioning that someone just yelled out potato. I can't tell if they're literally just making up shit at this point. Good read by Renault, who is trying to drag Chayasun down to hell with her. And she's got one hook on the inside, but instead Chayasun basically swats her away. Comes in with a decent enough of a left hand. Renault reads it, tries to counter. She might be putting some hurt over on Chayasun now. So Renault giving a nice little back and forth here as well. It's an interesting kind of mechanics here. You could very well see Renault, if she does turn it up, it could be a very interesting scorecard. But it might be Chayasun's fight to lose at this point, so she's got to be very, very cautious about how Renault just really is trying to game it. I think Renault's really figuring out how to point herself back into this thing in a strong way. And they're now commenting about how much she is not bleeding as much in this round. Also, I will say this, though. If we're being honest, Chayasun's hair, just the design of it, does make me think of a Cinnabon. Am I the only one? Because I keep staring at it and I keep thinking like, yo, Cinnabons sound real delicious right now. And I think it's mostly just the frosting, right? Like, that's why I'm doing it. Or is it just that I'm fat? Could be one or the other. Very difficult to see. Renault kind of drags her down. Now is put into a full guard here. Chayasun's trying to maybe move the head to the other side. Oh, speaking of which, I think I was rolling with somebody for the first time today, and they actually had a compliment for friend one, Kevin Ross. They were like, yeah, dude, Kevin's really powerful. And he's also, like, really good at jiu-jitsu. And I was like, well, you know, let's hold on that. You know what I mean? Like, I can give him power. I'm going to take that away from the kid. Give him good striking. But he's like, yeah, he's really, like, technical and good at jiu-jitsu. And I was like, is he? Really? Kevin? I thought I'd pass that along. That's how they knew I knew you. 1 minute left to go. A nice little trip here by Chayasun. Or should we call her Chia-sun? Who cares? At this point, I've just said it. I've committed. Last few seconds here. Working from inside the guard. It might be a possibility to work on a submission here. She already proved that she was adventurous enough to kind of go for an omoplata, which, about that life, I get it. It's just going to be hard to pull off. Last few seconds. Still clock winding down. 30 seconds left to go. And I think these ladies are kind of spent on their energy, and understandably so, but they're still trying to get at least some strikes in here. They're pretty offset. I like really good. Nah. I'm good enough. You know what? You should just gets the job done is really what it is. But that's how I always know when I'm talking with people in the jiu-jitsu community. When we're chatting and they'll always be like, they'll come up with something that they overstate, and I go, no, but bless your soul. Like, you're nice, and I appreciate that. Pete. As always, a pleasure to see you here, sir. We're about to get a decision. Then we're going to take a little break. When we take a break, go grab beer, go grab some food. We still have 5 more fights. What are we live watching? Well, I mean, I think it's in the title. UFC Vegas 22. What is up, EJ Lumen? And it said, should Hannity switch to the patch? I don't watch that. I don't know, man. I think Hannity would do best to just be off TV. We have enough people like him. It's pretty funny, though. Oh, shit. Yeah, indeed. But yes, we're going to get a decision since there was no fight finale there. That means we don't have to do a cheers. But you know what I have to do a cheers to? Friend of the show, Rage. Rage giving us some love in his chat. I will tell you this. If you are looking for good striking, go over to Rage. Give him some love and appreciation. He's been helping out a number of friends from the show get their boxing act together. No jokes here. He's just a good people. Cheers to you, bud. And I will need another beer going in for these second set of fights. As we wait for the official decision, 3 rounds. Judges' scorecards are as follows. 29-28. And a unanimous decision. And they call her Chason. I like Chia-san. Or whatever we were saying, I guess, the past 20 minutes. All right. Well, good for her. She gets the win. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a momentary break, everybody. We're going to come back in about 10 minutes or so. But everybody, go get you some beer. Go get you some food. We're going to come back. We're going to finish strong. What's up, Drain Daddy? You just came in. We're about to take our little break here. But we're going to do the entire rest of the card here tonight. We have 5 more fights. It is going to be a blast. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate y'all. Come on back. Come back here at Verbal Tap Cast. Come back here at Grappling Hour. We'll see you in about 10 minutes. All right. Peace.